Every individual is unique. We're different, all different. That little fingerprint, one of a kind. We all are gifted with skills and talents and abilities. Well, one of my skills, talents, and abilities does not come under the category of logging. I know a little bit, probably know a little more than the average bear, but an expert, I am not. I do have one more poplar tree that I really need to take down, and it's a doozy. It's got a two-way lean, and one of the ways it's leaning is not in my favor. But I've studied on it and studied on it and studied on it, and finally, I think I have a plan to hopefully safely take this tree down. Now, if it was out in the forest, out in the woods, be no problem. Just stick a saw in it, cut your wedge, your back cut, drop it, and you've got a margin for error of, let's say, 50 feet. If it goes here, it goes there, doesn't matter. Even more of a margin for error. Let me just show you what I got here. Here's the poplar I need to take down. I know you probably can't see it on camera, but it's leaning towards this building. Then also, let me just show you the drop zone here where I'm hoping to put this baby on the ground. And this is not quite to the end of the tree, getting pretty close. I've got a building here, got a white oak here, and got a little window here I'd like to drop it in. The way I figure it, the tops of that tree are going to hit the tops of these trees, but the momentum hopefully just going to brush by those limbs, drop in here, not really break anything off of any significance, not damage that tree. Priority number one, see that building right there? I don't want to hit it, but the tree is leaning there. Well, I've thought on it and thought on it and planned and prepped, and before I stick a saw in it, I am going to go get my neighbor JC if he's home. His father was a sawmiller. He's 86 years old, I think. Sharp as a tack, and he sawed more trees probably than most city folks ever seen. So I want to get his opinion and get his eyes on it and see if what I'm thinking is going to be right. I sure hope so after my last experience, which wasn't pretty. Thank the Lord it turned out okay. But here's what I'm thinking, and I've cut a lot of trees with this backhoe leaning up against it like this, and what I'm thinking is if I put a good notch over here on this side direction right there, and I make my back cut straight with that direction. Then I might stick a wedge over here on this side, give her a little encouragement with the backhoe. I'm thinking, and I hope I'm thinking right, it's gonna fall where I want it. It's not gonna fall on this. It's not gonna fall on that. Well, I went up to JC's house and JC wasn't home, but I think I know what he would say. I think he would say, yeah, I think you got it, you're pretty good to go. Or how do you know how tall a tree is and where the tip of it is, it's going to land? JC was down here the other day and he asked me the same question. He said, you know how to tell how tall a tree is? Relatively, not exact science, but I mean, you get out one of them laser and measuring devices, but just, in the woods. I said, well, no. He said, well, let me show you. So he said, get your stick. This one's here about 5 feet long. Put it at the base of a tree. And you see that point right there, about head height at the base of a tree, all right? Then stand at the base of the tree. And let's say that I think this tree is about 100 feet. Let's call it 90 feet, all right? That'd be 30 steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 28, 29, 30, all right? So that's 90 feet from the base of the tree. So if I look at that mark about 5 feet up and I come straight up to about a 45-degree angle and then look up your stick, you'll see where you hit on the tree. I believe it's go time. Well guys, as you can see, I tried to leave a little more holding wood over here than over here so that it would help go like that. But the tree actually, it fell pretty much precisely where my desired landing area level was right there. Didn't hit the white oak, come down, didn't hurt the tops of any trees, didn't hit the building. It actually looks like it's closer to the building than it was, because when it hit that stump or whatever, it rolled over that way. But thank the Lord it's down. Obviously we got another big stump to contend with, but we'll get that up. Not real straight, but it's a big old sucker. I expect it's 20 plus inches there at the stump. It's got, I don't know, probably have to take this hump out right here. Saw log right there, saw log right there. Maybe another one right there, I don't know, there's a bunch of knots in that. And the little squirrel up there in that nest just sleeping away. We didn't even wake it up. Oh, thank the Lord that one's on the ground. Whew. Boy, I'm glad that's down. Praise the Lord. Good deal. Cut that tree down with the 361. Let me tell you the reason why I did that. Got a 20-inch bar on it. That's the saw that I use most of the time. Most of the trees in my area that I'm taking down are that size. And it helped me. Just a side note, it helped me because I know where the tip of the blade is. I have a feel for it. I don't know, maybe some of you pros can chime in. Is that a real thing? The saw that you're familiar with, you're gonna be most successful at? Okay, I'm gonna buck this thing up too. I'm gonna use the 391. It's got a 24-inch bar on it, and it's also cutting a little better. I think the guides on that other one are a little bit high. I need to a pretty mineralized log in. Got a little bit of dope right there, but I don't think that's gonna hurt anything. She had one of them longer tape maybe. Well, that's a great question. The reason is because I'm not logging, okay? And if you ever have boy, that's a pretty log. It's pretty nice when you tension sides on top, you compression sides on the bottom, it's pulling away so you can go all the way down through. Man, look at them fibers, isn't that interesting? Like little hairs in that cambium. Like I said the other day, when I make a mess, if I don't clean it up that day, it's hard to get back on it the next day. I'm gonna chip up. That poplar, I really don't have room for it in my wood stash. So I just make a quick little stack down here. We'll let that dry a few weeks, and then it gets cold enough and we need it. I believe I'll remember where it is. Yes, sir. In my opinion, that's a pretty good cleanup. Just go over quickly again. 391, it's really cutting good. I used it to cut up the firewood and buck the logs. 361 with the 20-inch bar is what I use to take the tree down, because that's the saw that I'm most familiar with, the length of bar that I'm most familiar with, that I use the most. I limbed up with the go-to saw, MS 170, little 16-inch bar on here. I tell you what, it's less than half the weight of these other saws. And not saying that the kid gets fatigued, but fatigue factor could come in. All right, next project. Next project. Well, it's been several weeks since the mill was out of the shop, but I got the lasers on. Glad to have that done. Got the trees cut that I wanted to get cut. That's a blessing. Can mill up some 2x6 14-foot rafters. It about, this is a temporary setup anyway, because I'm gonna move. Next project.